John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
So, a gentleman sitting at the bar yesterday asked me, he goes, "Can I ask you something? I love the show. I love your guys' energy. It's so funny. Like, you guys each have your own little dynamic. It's great. Can I ask you a question now?" And I'm like, "Sure. Does Jamie know what a reach around is?" He asked me.
He's well aware.
And I said, he goes,
"How do you think he got the job?"
Because I wonder if, like, does he know when he... And I said, "I think he does." I said, "I think he does."
That's why I named the segment that.
I think he does. So let's get to it.
Might have invented it.
The reach around.
Let's do a reach around of the NFC East.
Not all reach-arounds are gentle, and this one's not going to be either.
There you go.
We have an NFC East matchup this weekend as the New York Giants are 7-point dogs heading down to Jerry's World down in Dallas. Over-under on that game is 52.5, so rather high. I wouldn't feel confident about taking the over in any Giants game. That's just me. But obviously, Dallas can put up points in buckets.
But can Danny Dimes?
He's been putting up some yardage this year. Again, Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are questionable. They're missing their left tackle this week, who hasn't allowed a sack all year. In what the hell's his name? Andrew Thomas, is it?
Yes.
I have it in my Andrew Thomas. Yes.
Former Georgia Bulldog.
Yes, he hasn't allowed a sack all year. He's going to be out. Leonard Williams is a game-time decision. That's another big one for the Giants. I just would not bet the over in this one. Personally, do you guys do whatever you want?
No.
This seems very high for me for a Giants game, but maybe that's telling you something. Also on the Giants injury list is pretty long. Jabril Peppers, also questionable to play. He's been a limited participant in practice. And the Cowboys are pretty banged up themselves. Limited participants were Amari Cooper and Zeke Elliott and Dorrance Armstrong and Randy Gregory. I mean, most are expected to play.
Sure.
But Amari Cooper's got to play this year with some broken ribs until they heal. That can't be fun.
I got to tell you, I have a lot of respect for Amari Cooper.
Oh, yeah,
playing
absolutely.
with what he's playing through.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought of him as tough guy.
God, can you imagine going across the middle?
No.
No.
I mean,
and being petrified.
I can't imagine sneezing with broken ribs. I'm crying thinking about it, let alone playing a football
Isn't it
game.
really bad? You've had broken ribs, right?
No, I've never broken a bone.
I've had two, and it was only when you sneezing was terrible, any kind of deep breath,
Yeah.
and walking up the stairs.
Oof.
When you get that, just even you get, it's like,
Everything.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Not fun.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of injuries. Cowboys probably, will have all those guys play, but they're certainly banged up themselves. What shocked me, I know you, Bob, he won't shut up about it, the DVOA rankings for defensive ratings in the NFL. That is your defensive.
It runs my Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you won't shut up about it.
Bob loves it.
It's defensive adjusted value over average. It's basically like the WAR equivalent in football. They have the Cowboys as the second best defense in football this year, only behind, I believe, the Bills, which is pretty shocking because entering this year we went, well, that Dallas defense is still pretty bad.
Well, they got Dan Quinn, that defense.
Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Trayvon Diggs and Quinn's been doing a good job for them. They're a loaded team. I mean, I hate to say it, they're a legit contender in the NFC. They're probably
Okay, do a pecking order. NFC teams, where are they?
Through 4 weeks, I mean, they might be at the top of it.
Ahead of the Rams?
It's
That was
probably
an
the two of
impressive
them.
one last night.
No, I
It's
don't.
probably the two of them and the Cardinals, right? Through 4 weeks.
Green
It's got to
Bay.
be. Green
But
Bay's
the reason I say that is because Dallas's opponents, they're 3-1, and their 3 wins are against
Arizona.
teams that are 3-1.
Yeah.
So you have to give them their credit. I mean, that Chargers win in L.A. looks more and more
Well,
like.
they're going to win against the Eagles, who are 1-3.
Oh, excuse me. So 2 of the 3 are against 3-1 teams. I think they're legit. I hate to say it.
I think
contender.
the Rams, to me, the Rams on paper look like the best team. And even with my eyeball test.
Arizona went into L.A. and beat the Rams.
They did.
Yeah,
They did. I
Kyler
still
Murray's
don't.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's really done it great. He's really taken it to a... He keeps progressing.
Yeah. I don't expect the Giants to really give this too much of a game. I think Dallas is going to be 4-1 after this weekend, and the division will continue to be theirs. Reaching around to the other game in the NFC East, we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to the worst stadium in football, so bad that it actually has raw sewage dripping on its club box level in FedEx Field.
Oh, it's terrible, eh?
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints are a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under on this one is kind of opposite of Dallas and New York. It's a low one at 43.5, which is somewhat surprising considering how bad the Washington defense has been this year. New Orleans just kind of meh as well.
Do you have any idea who they are?
No,
I don't think they do either.
I don't think they're very good.
But with Jameis, you don't know because he can dial it up.
Oh, I mean, week 1 against Green Bay at 5 touchdowns,
Right.
no interceptions. Ever since then, I think he's put up 122 yards passing, 178 yards passing, and I think he had his best week since week 1 last week. But he's kind of a question mark week to week. Jack Del Rio in Washington is really finding himself kind of on the griddles in every press conference this week. He doesn't seem to have a lot of answers for his underperforming defense.
I can't believe how bad they've been.
Chase Young doesn't have a sack this year, which is
crazy to me.
Jack Del Rio said, well, he got one taken away from him last week against Matt Ryan, and he did. It was a horrible call. But this defense just doesn't seem to have the answers. And they lost one of their best linebackers, John Bostic. So they're preaching the next man up mentality.
They're giving up 30 points a game.
Yeah.
People are talking about Jonathan Gannon's defense. Look at the talent he's got
Jack
to
Del
work
Rio
with.
is he's sweating up there. They also are going to be without, looks like, Brandon Sheriff, who has not participated in practice up until Friday, so that's not a good sign of him playing. Curtis Samuel, also one of their bigger free agent acquisitions this offseason, doesn't really appear close to returning for them. So Washington's pretty beat up as well. We always talk about the Eagles' injuries, but the entire NFC East is pretty banged up here. That's just life in the league. I would be worried about Alvin Kamara. He's been relatively quiet to date. Last week, I think, was his best week of the year. I think he had 122 yards. I have a feeling Alvin Kamara is probably...
He's about to have an outbreak?
I think he's probably worth your daily fantasy...
Against Washington's defense?
Consideration this week with Bostic out. And if they can use the... Jonathan Allen's one of the better rated D tackles in the league so far this year. And Montez Sweat's having a great year. I mean, they have so much talent on that line. If they can get him to the second level and take advantage of that secondary and linebacking core, I think they will. One stat I had to share on Terry McLaurin, which I just saw yesterday. I have to walk back my statement. I said in the beginning of the year he didn't really scare me.
I was the one telling you. I think
he's good, but he didn't scare me.
See, I think he's a star, a star player.
I'm adjusting. He's probably a top 10 wide receiver in the league. This guy's unbelievable. So this is courtesy of Field Yates. Washington wide receiver.
What's that, Field?
Yeah, Terry McLaurin currently owns the longest streak of targets without a drop. He's seen 190 straight targets and hauled in 128 consecutive catches without a drop, and he routinely makes very difficult catches. This guy's an absolute stud. Yeah, I retract from good to stud.
I love him. And I don't know what you didn't see.
No, I liked him. He didn't scare me, and I have to walk that one back. He scares me a little bit now. This guy is awesome.
He deserves a better fate than he's getting right now. Let's put it.
He deserves a franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Heineke Hive has started down in D.C.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, yeah. They're hawking T-shirts and all that crap.
Really?
Yeah, it's delusion. Those
Good
people,
for him.
they're grasping at straws down there in D.C.
Don't they always, though?
Yeah, they're a pretty beaten up fan base.
They are.
They're not having a good
They've
time
been through
down
it
there.
for years.
And that's your reach around, and that's brought to you by Prop Swap. Football is here, and our birds are 100 to 1. 100 to 1, that's crazy. It might be actually legit crazy. But when you're making your tickets, buy 2 tickets, hold on to one of them, and sell the other bet on Prop Swap this season for a huge profit.
The John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, Philadelphia.